Irishman is a new Netflix film that is also out in limited theater release. It is a mob drama. I don't really want to call it a mob drama. Let's call it a mob epic. Mob epic sounds a lot better. This is directed by the one and the only Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese, in my humble opinion, is one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. This is a guy that's given us classic after classic. He has transcended a bunch of different genres. I'd probably say the genre that he's most well known for is gangster and mob movies, which is basically what the story of this movie is all about. Look at the talent for this movie. Holy shit. You've got Robert De Niro, you've got Al Pacino, you've got Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci came out of retirement for this movie. Somehow this is the first time in history that Al Pacino and Martin Scorsese have worked together on a movie. I don't know how that happened, but it is what it is. There are a bunch of other great actors and actresses in this movie that I'm not even remembering at the moment. I mean, you got Anna Paquin. Okay, I'm sorry. I call her Sookie. I know her as Sookie. Sookie's in this movie. Ray Romano's in this movie. But ultimately what this movie is it is a mob story, but that's not really the point. The point of this movie is a journey. It's about one man's journey, Robert De Niro's character. Robert De Niro plays a character named Frank, and I guess he's the Irishman in the title, and this movie is all about his life's journey. It's about taking him through his upbringing through the mob. It's about these two key relationships that impact his life in a very big way. One is Joe Pesci's character, who's kind of like the boss of bosses within the mob. And the other one is Al Pacino's character, who is playing the infamous Jimmy Hoffa. If you don't know who Jimmy Hoffa is, look up Teamsters, look up his disappearance. It's all out there on the internet. The point is, Jimmy Hoffa was a very big deal in the era that they're trying to depict here. It's a life story. It's a life journey, and it's about Robert De Niro's character, and you're following him through it all. Hold up, do you guys smell that? Smells like cinema. You got some bad bars, you got some Tantors, you got some Dumbos, you got some elephants in the room that I kind of want to get out of the way before I get to the real meat and potatoes of this review. First one is Martin Scorsese's opinion about cinema and about Marvel movies. Guys, I don't care. I don't really give a fuck about Martin Scorsese and his opinion on all that. It's one man, he's entitled to his opinion, you're entitled to disagree with him. I'm not going to really be focusing on that drama in this review. I don't really see why that would affect my approach with this movie. The other elephant in the room, let's call it the Tantor of the situation, is the runtime. This is a very long movie, like an exceedingly long movie. This is a 3.5 hour movie, and it definitely earns every single second of that runtime, in my humble opinion. But if you don't like long movies, if you don't like mob movies, if you don't like long movies that have a lot of scenes where characters are just sitting and talking, I feel like this is not going to be your cup of tea. You guys know me, I don't really care about how long a movie is, I care about how long it feels. It's all about the execution, it's all about the journey, and I feel like I'm going to be using the word journey a lot in this review. The other elephant in the room is obviously the CGI de-aging, because obviously you're depicting these actors in a certain era of their lives where they have to be younger, and obviously all of these actors are older now. Is the CGI de-aging noticeable? Yeah. It's noticeable. I mean, you can't not notice it. I think our eyes are trained to notice these things. Overall, in general, after a few minutes, I didn't even really care about it. I was so engaged and engrossed in what was going on with the story, the characters, the dialogue. And after a while, I didn't really think about it, but it is one of those things that is going to be kind of glaring when you first start watching the movie. I don't think it's that big a deal. Martin Scorsese is an absolute master of his craft. Obviously, I believe that because I called him one of the best filmmakers of all time. It's one of those movies where you can tell that there's a master behind the camera, that there's somebody who has decades worth of putting out great art. That's what this movie is. This movie is great art. In terms of the camera work, there is not a single movement, not a single angle, not a single shot that feels wasted. There's not a single frame that feels out of place. This movie is eggs on a tit, omelet titties, whatever you want to call it. It's a gorgeous, beautiful looking movie with great lighting. One of those movies where the camera work has a bunch of different shots that elevate scenes that you didn't think that it would elevate the scene because you didn't think that he would go for that type of shot. A lot of shots in this movie where Scorsese obviously wants the scene to breathe a little bit and he wants things to marinate, he wants things to rest, so it lingers. And there are a lot of really great lingering moments and lingering shots in this movie. In regards to the editing for this movie, I mean, good God, it's amazing. It's Oscar worthy just like everything else. I don't even remember who did the editing for this movie. I can't remember their name. I'm sorry that I can't remember your name, but I feel like I want to send you flowers. Unless of course you're a dude, that would be weird. But then again, I guess I could send you the flowers and you could just give it to your wife or your girlfriend or something. So hey, win-win. The editing in this movie is flawless. It is seamless. The transitions are great. The way that the scenes are cut together, the way the music flows, even though the movie is definitely jumping around to different locations and different eras, you never get lost in it. And you never feel like you're out of a scene. You always know exactly where you're supposed to be. Every single actor in this movie is at the top of their game. They bring their A++ game. Robert De Niro, this is one of the best performances that you've seen from him in a really long time. His character is so restrained, so held back. He has to do a lot of acting in this movie with his eyes, with his facial expressions. A lot of unsaid morality and turmoil going on with his character. Like every single scene, Robert De Niro is killing it. Same thing with Joe Pesci. He came out of retirement. He is so cold. He is so in control in this role. If you're gonna come out of retirement, you better be like Michael Jordan dropping 55 at the Garden, because that's what Pesci was in this movie. It's hard to say which actor stole the show, but I guess for me, maybe Al Pacino, because he's playing Jimmy Hoffa, and he is the perfect type of over-the-top that Jimmy Hoffa's character deserves. And that's one of the best things about this movie, is how well written it is, how good the script is. Dialogue in this movie and the acting blend so great together that you just watch scenes where characters are talking, and I was hanging on to almost every word. Even though it is a mob story, I wouldn't necessarily call it your standard issue mob story. This is a mob story that has a lot more in its mind than just the high life and about money and women, crime and illegal stuff. I mean, yeah, that stuff's in there, but it's not the point. It feels a lot more reflective, a lot more meditative. Scorsese definitely wants you to sit here with these characters. He wants you to appreciate their thought process. He wants to have some thought-provoking conversations about mortality and about loneliness and about the impact of a life's worth of decisions that maybe you didn't realize it at the time, how it would affect you at the end. If other mob stories are about living fast and dying young, this movie definitely addresses the consequences of living old. Some of the impact that this kind of life can have on somebody. Is it possible to just give Oscars to everybody? Like, just give Oscars to every single person involved with this movie. Like, just clean sweep. Return of the King, that shit. There's nothing else I could say about it. It's just give them the Oscar. Even though it is a long movie, definitely, I feel like there was only one section of the movie that dragged just a tiny bit. One of the 6,000 middles of this movie where they're focusing more on Jimmy Hoffa's legal issues, it dragged for just a second, but it's just a second. It's like a nitpick. The main issue I have in this movie is that there is a relationship, there's a conflict and a tension of an emotional nature between Robert De Niro's character and between one of his daughters. The older version of his daughter is played by Anna Paquin, and she's not really given that much to do. The way that they hinted and built this up, I thought there would be more of an emotional payoff, but there really isn't. I don't have any more words. I can't say enough about how amazing this movie is. The Irishman is one of the masterpieces of 2019. I absolutely loved it. This one deserves the highest praise of Superman Prime. What is your favorite Scorsese film that he's ever made? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.